What in the holy hell? Oh, that's too funny. So, good morning. Either you're on mute or I'm on mute. I don't hear you. Hold on. Can you hear me, Ash? Yeah. Let me hear it. See if you just say okay or something. No, I mean, I can't hear you. Yeah, I don't hear you at all. You're not on mute. So, it must be something with the microphone in your laptop or something. Oh, crap. All right. Sherry, good morning.
Good
So, wait,
morning.
it's going to be tough. Yeah, good morning. This is going to be tough, Ash, to try and figure out what drew you back into this particular fold because I can't hear you talk. Let me see here if we can. Yeah, good idea. Okay. Okay. Share just out of curiosity. I know you're juggling again. What is it about this call or these calls or this environment that keeps drawing you back in? Like you're attached, you're in prison and you're trying to break out, but it's like you're looking out the window of the bars but can't seem to break out. What's the thought process? In other words, I don't know how to help you achieve what you want to achieve because I'm not quite sure because I know you're doing the full time thing.
Right, right. Um, yeah, I I love your ideas and I love your energy. Um, and I had some exciting news to share with you from last
Oh,
week, so I want to share that while I think
that's
about what my
wonderful.
answer is.
Okay.
I finally have connected with a couple of um, money people, um,
Financial advisors, you
financial
mean?
advisors kind of people. Yep, yep. And that I feel would be good partners and that
Okay.
I could make this work with. Um, in the previous calls, I've always thought, gosh, those are such great ideas. I wish I knew the people to talk to. And so I'm finally starting to find some of those people that would work
You
for
actually had a
this.
conversation with these folks or one of them or whatever?
Yes.
What did the
Yes. And but
conversation sound
for my personal use,
like? Mm-hmm.
and so I've talked to like three or four of them now, but there's
Oh,
two of
wow.
them in particular that I thought those would be the kind of people that I would want to send to someone else.
Ah, what did the conversation sound like?
Um, they just were very, um, boy, I don't know. They were trying to sell me on their services,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt like they cared.
Okay.
And those are the kind of people that I would want to refer.
Okay. So it's very interesting that you say that. How did you get to know those people? Was it through a group, through a friend or a client?
Well, it was through an attorney because I'm trying to set up my own estate plan.
Perfect.
Right, right. And so I need some fiduciaries.
So remember,
And
and I say remember, I don't mean to be redundant, but every great
yep,
estate planner has a great financial advisor. Every great financial advisor has a great estate planner. They work very closely together on the plan. So it's always easy to get two when you got one. It just works out real well.
yep, yep. So I'm just very excited that I'm finally on the path to making this a reality.
Has this always been a side path, or is it supposed to be the path that gets you out of the path you're in?
It's the path to get me out.
Hmm. Are you
I've
a
I've
six
been
figure?
in my I'm a legal secretary for the Attorney General.
Okay.
Um, and so, helping people and that kind of thing has always been in my wheelhouse anyway, but I've been doing this for 20 plus years
Wow.
and it's time to move out of that and move into something that I can feel more passionate about for myself
Wonderful.
and, feel like I'm making the difference personally.
Wonderful. Well, that sounds
Yep.
fantastic. There's nobody else on this call. Are you making between 50 and 70 grand? Between 70 and 90? Where are you at on your regular W-2? What's the
I'm
range
I'm
ish?
probably around a little over 70 probably.
Okay.
Yep.
And in your area, the home prices are what? Ballpark.
Oh, well, on the lake, they're, 400 or 500, but in town, probably 200, maybe 300.
Okay. So we'll just
A
go with four.
lot that's even lower than that, really.
Okay. So we'll go with 450 to 200 for the sake of simple
Yep.
math, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
what I tend to do or help people with is really just establish the target in order to replace, and this is pretty interesting, in order to replace, we have to do the math backwards, but I would be guessing, let me just do this real fast for you. Let's just do the calculation. Routine. Bear with me.
Hmm.
Ash, I can't see you yet. So here's what I did. And you could tell me if I'm wrong about any of the math. So if you were to, or when, depending on your selection of wording, close three on the lake, 450 times 3% is 13.5 times 80%. That's your commission, if it is 10.8. If you do three of those a year, that's 32,000. Just three of those a year. And if you did nine of $200,000 deals, that gets you to 43,000. So essentially, that's 75 grand. In other words, for me, that's how I would establish my target. I don't know. In other words, every day, I jokingly said this the other day on a training call. It seems like some people are throwing darts in the dark, like literally keeping your eyes closed and throwing a dart. Did you hit the target? I don't know. Turn the lights on. How are you ever going to establish? It just seems confusing to me. So the thought process would be first, okay, if I want an accent, extra money, it's a different story. No, it needs to replace this. I'm not happy about this anymore. I'm done. Clock checked out. I'm done with this. Okay. In order to replace that, that's the math and how it works out, which essentially, Sheriff, is one deal a month.
Right.
When you really break it down, it's one deal a month.
Which
Does
sounds
that make sense?
yes, and that sounds very doable.
Right. Actually, come off mute. Let's see if we can hear you now.
You should be able to hear me now. I'm on my phone this time.
We got you, darling. Good to see you again. So, Ash, I'm having a little chat with Sherry because she has a different
Good to
objective.
see you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
So, Ash, do me a favor. You are doing real estate full time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how many deals did you close in the last 12 months? Or let's say for the year 2025?
Well, if my deal happens Friday, it'll be 26.
26.
Mhm.
Congratulations, by the way. You're beating your sister, aren't you?
She doesn't like that.
Sherry, her and her sister are both agents. They're coming back to the coaching. It's a funny story, but nonetheless, I grew up where they live, the whole night. It was a funny story. But my point is this: Ashley's doing 26 deals, and Sherry, you just need to do one a month, which would be 12, which is less than half what she's doing. Ashley, what do you do that gets you to the point where you're doing that well? And that's really great. That's really great. What are you doing?
I think organization is key. Um, I've tried every CRM known to man. So sorry. I think that it's like the concept of just, I'm blanking on the book, but Atomic Habits, just layering habits on top of each other. And then also recapping and looking at like, okay, well, how did that do the past 6 months? Did that serve me or did it not? And then either scrapping that idea and keep going with it, or just reevaluating, taking that time. I still have my moments where I need to hold myself more accountable to my time blocking and that kind of stuff. But, and I'm also very driven. So I would say that's probably how I did it.
Okay. Now, and again, I'm a perspective coach, so I'm not here to piss anybody off, but my perspective tells me in my mind, organization has nothing to do with conversion. In other words, I deliver information influentially that compels people to want to work with me. Has nothing to do with organization. I deliver information influentially, enthusiastically, that compels someone to want to work with me. Now, I'm not saying organization is not a strong suit of hers. Her and her sister are very different the way they get business. And Ashley's very methodical, as you can hear. And her sister's not necessarily as methodical as her. So there is something to be said for that. I'm not taking anything away from that. But when I analyze me, and this is just my perspective, if you saw my desk, it's a disaster. I don't know how to use a CRM. I've never used one. I have no idea how to use social media, AI, none of that. I stay in my little teeny lane, which is an ability to communicate a message influentially that compels people to want to work with me. I'm going to give you an example, and I'll show you the text to validate this. And I'm not taking anything from Ashley, but here's something I will say. Ash and I haven't talked in quite some time. So this is going to be a question out of left field that I do not know the answer to, but I'm going to roll the dice and put money on this. Ashley, and Sherry, it's important you hear this, and this is why maybe Ashley's coming back. Sherry, Ash, in the 26 deals you closed, how many came from your financial advisor?
None.
0.
Zero.
Okay. But this is part of taking inventory, and she does a great job of it. She's measuring everything she does, and I'm like, baby, why aren't you measuring this over here? Like, wait a minute, slow down for a minute. And there's a reason I'm getting to this. How many of the 26 closed from your estate planner?
None, but we just started getting into that.
Yeah, and I already grilled your sister on this because of what your parents went through. Yeah, well, I'm already after her on that, and that's why I'm hoping you're coming back. But nonetheless, so on top of that, how about your accountant? How many of the 26 came from him or her?
None.
Okay, so my point to both of you is this. Now, think about this for a second. On top of what Ashley does, which is fantastic, she's probably in the top 5 or 6% of agents last year. 74% closed 0. She's in the top 5%. So she's doing wonderfully. My point is, imagine a life where Ashley wakes up tomorrow and a financial advisor gives her a buyer. Holy crap. Imagine the elder care attorney, the estate planner, the probate attorney this week all gave her one person who needs to sell their house because they're dying. Imagine the accountant that says, I got 2 people going through a divorce and they want you to sell the home because I bragged about you. And by the way, one of their divorce attorneys is a friend of mine. I'm going to introduce you to that divorce attorney. She's north of 30, 35 this year. Hands down. And didn't network, didn't have to measure, no CRM, no organization. I'm not, Ash, please, I'm not taking that away from you. You're doing a phenomenal job. But some of the things that we're overlooking, the joke is we walk right, here's the joke. And I say this all the time, but Ashley's new back to the call. Think about your favorite drive to the nail salon, the hairdressers, the food store, the coffee shop. Think about that drive. How many fire hydrants did you pass? No idea. We're not paying attention because nobody brought it to our attention that red tube that sticks out of the ground that saves lives could also save mine. That red tube is your accountant, your financial advisor, your estate planner. We're not paying attention. Paulie's bringing you slow. Hurry up and slow down. Watch this. Watch how incredible this will be. Breaking 30 is she could do that in her sleep. How about breaking 50 this year? Watch this. She closed 26 clients. You know what's incredible? All 26 of them have an accountant, which means Ashley has approximately 26 introductions to new accountants. Holy crap. The story I shared with you guys 3 weeks ago is that an accountant that I don't use, does not make money from me. One of the realtors implemented the strategy I teach, brought an accountant to the call. Listen to this, hand to God. That accountant gave that realtor 1 seller and 7 buyers in 30 days. In 30 days. It has nothing to do with everything we're told that is important. What I believe is important is you are the niche. Work on your ability to perform and deliver a message influentially that compels people to want to do something with you. That accountant loves me because the realtor brought her 3 clients. That's never happened in her 20 years. And it's everything that I talk about teaching, which doesn't have anything to do with the stuff that we normally think it's supposed to have something to do with. I always say leverage trumps talent. Leverage. Like this. If I am the accountant and I call Ashley and I say, Ash, listen, I just met with 2 clients this week, both of which are going through a divorce. They need to sell their house. You're the first girl I thought of because you're phenomenal. Can you come meet with my clients and take care of these listings? What I want to know is why aren't those calls happening? They're not happening because we never approached our accountant as a provider. We're treating him or her like a provider, not a partner. They're a service provider. I want them to be a partner. The people that I teach, train, and coach, remember, we live up to the title we give them. I call them partner. You call them vendor. You call them accountant. I call them board member. So now I got to teach them how to live up to that title in order to remain in my business. So the thought process is Ashley has a bigger leg up, Sherry, than you do because she's got such a big book. This isn't just 1 year. She does really well every year. So if she starts to look back on that and say, okay, I could literally go through that book. This is what I taught your sister last week. She got all fired up on the call. I think she maybe used a couple F-bombs. She was all excited and pissed off at the same time. I said, just think about this. How about this one? If 67, and this is part of the data, right? 67% of the population doesn't have a will. 67%. That's a fact. All Ashley needs to do is call her 26 closed clients who would love to talk to her on any given day. How's the husband? How's the kids? How's the dog? What's going on with the house? It looks beautiful. Landscaping, fantastic. Oh my gosh, I forgot to ask you, when you made settlement, did you update your will? If she literally made 1 call a day for 26 days, she's through her entire last 12 months of closings, and 17 people out of the 26 need a will. These are nationwide stats. Let's be conservative and say only 10 people need a will. Can you now imagine calling an estate planner and saying, I have 10 clients for you? This is the game I teach. This is leverage, which has nothing to do with all the stuff that we're told is important. I'm not saying AI is not important. Social media, networking. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. But what I just taught you doesn't require any of that. 0. That's why I like it. I need to make money very efficiently and effectively. And when I look at a lot of those things, the social media, post every day, do this, do that, I'm like, I'm freaking exhausted. How about I just make 1 call to one of my clients that needs something and then put them in touch with a professional that offers that something and then use that as leverage for me to get business? That seems to work. I'm Italian from Jersey, Ash. That seems to work easy for me. You know what I mean? Like leverage. You can do the networking. You can go to the events. You can host the open houses. Yes, I'm not saying don't. Absolutely. But what I'm sharing you right now requires none of that. So if Ashley's baseline is 26, holy crap, when she's able to implement this stuff. So I wrote this down because I want to share this with you, and I will show you the text because I never want anybody to trust me. I always bring receipts because I want you to see what I'm talking about. This is not theory. This is a text. Dre Parker, FA, is financial advisor. In parentheses is the real estate agent that introduced me to that financial advisor. I want you to see the text. You'll also see who's on the group text, Ashley and Dre. I'm going to read it to you. I'll read it to you. Ashley, meet Dre. Dre, meet Ashley. I've bragged about both of you to each other and told each one of you the stories of how I came to meet both of you and the incredible growth since inception. It's only been 7 weeks. Dre, Ashley already did all the insurance pre-education and now only needs to pass her insurance test. She'll also be getting her loan officer license, etc. It's now time to put the team together. Set up a time to explore what 2026 looks like and let me know the schedule. I'll be on that call. We go back and forth and we're meeting today at 2:30. Now, let me go back to this and show you where Ashley came from. I'm going to click on Ashley. Ashley Lawson is an accountant, and she came for Christina Mathis, who's a real estate agent. So my point to both of you is this. A loan officer that makes money writing mortgages is putting an accountant and a financial advisor together to have a collaborative call. I'm supposed to be chasing realtors to get mortgages. Why am I spending time with a financial advisor and an accountant? Because I know how to show them how to make money, and they'll bring me business. The law of reciprocity. Now, watch this. Gray, financial advisor. Say it, FA, financial advisor. Brings me another buyer up here, which is most important. He's given me 6 buyers in 6 weeks. 6 buyers in 6 weeks. Who did I connect them with? The accountant that gave us 8. 1 listing and 7 buyers. You see what I'm doing? Very strategic. Very strategic. Put those two together. Between the two of them, I've received 13 buyers in 7 weeks. I need you to plug this into your business. 13 buyers in 7 weeks from 2 professionals that are not in the real estate industry. This doesn't make any sense. This makes a ton of sense. I don't do anything a loan officer does. Goes to networking events, tracks down realtors, calls them, begs them. Hey, Ashley doing 26 deals. I can promise you she's getting calls from lenders. Hi, can I take you to lunch? Can I give you this? Can I give you a back rub? Do you need any wine? Can I take you to the Phillies game? They're trying to get Ashley's business. I don't do any of that. Ash, I'm going to show you how to make money. It's that simple. And when I show you how to make money, the way that you can now help me is by giving me a buyer. But I don't get that buyer until I honor my word. My rates, my fees, my service, blah, blah, blah. It's all a bunch of crap. It's all the same stuff. I'm going to make you money, period. I literally, in a matter of minutes, showed you guys how much business I got from 2 people that have nothing to do with real estate. So why are we putting so much time into real estate? Ashley could do real estate in her sleep. She doesn't even open her eyes. I know how to do 26 deals. I could do that in my sleep. I'm like, great. Then stop putting all your energy into that. What if you moved over in this lane and spoke to a couple people like this? Holy crap. That's the thought process, ladies. So in quick summary, Sherry, great job. Now think about this too. Sherry, I say this all the time. You see me for the first time after you've heard me for the 7th, which means our brain needs to see something again and again and again before it clicks. Sherry, I think we can admit you've seen me at least a half a dozen times. At least, yeah. And this morning, Ash, before you got on, she was bragging. Paulie, it's working. I got 2 financial advisors. I'm like, let's go, girl, right? So everybody's going to go at a different pace, and it is their pace. But I tend to teach the same thing, but different. Same, but different. Same, but different. Because today, it might hit you. Tomorrow, it didn't. The other message did. So I'm thinking, okay, with someone like Ashley on here doing 26 deals and getting nothing from the professionals I just mentioned and showing her how much I got in 7 weeks, this is a no-brainer. Holy crap, I want that. I want that. And it's not that I don't want to do another networking event, another happy hour. Maybe she loves that. Wonderful. I'm not saying don't do that. But I didn't leave the comfort of my home and I choreographed that. It's just about being efficient. Actually, I'm a little bit older than you, and the older I get, the less time I have. So for me, it's about earning based on my talent, not my time. I want to make money based on talent, not time. So I'm always looking at the most efficient way to extract the business. So I would never tell anybody, stop doing what you're doing, take inventory. Which seems more efficient, more effective, and what would you enjoy more? And then you lean into that. Ash, these are 30-minute calls for the LFG call that we do for the Productive Aging Collective. I also have my 12 o'clock private board of directors call that, because you and your sister are paying for that, you guys get to join that as well. I did send her the link for it already. I don't know what your schedule looks like, but if you like, I can add you to that.
Yeah, you can add me to it. Yeah.
Give me your email, Ash.
It's Ashley at, and then my last name, FlennardRealtyGroup.com. So F is in Frank, LENARD, FlennardRealtyGroup.com.
Okay. Our time is up here, ladies. Good to see you again, Ashley. I'll add you to that invite and I'll send it out in a couple of minutes. Sherry, good luck,
Thanks,
darling.
Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Quick question though.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you're talking about with this next call.
What next call? My 12 o'clock? That's my
Your 12
that's my
o'clock. Yep.
personal board of directors call. So people pay to be part of that call. This is a
Got you.
paid
Okay.
thing that you're doing monthly for the Productive Aging Collective. I have my own private group. The
You have a
attorneys and all the stuff I talk about, they're in that group.
Got
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Ashley's
Okay.
paying
All right.
for that,
Good.
so she gets to come and observe that call as well.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
All right, honey. Have a great day, ladies.